Hello everyone, this video goes through the story of Trilogy of Mass Effect. The story takes place in the fictional version of the Milky Way towards the end of the 22nd century. In 2148, humanity discovered an alien outpost on Mars, and learned that it's actually an alien artifact known as Mass Relay that enables faster-than-light travel to other mass relays located across the galaxy. Humanity comes into contact with numerous other spacefaring alien species, some far more advanced than humans. Humanity's first encounter resulted in the First Contact War, but the Council, a ruling body of the galaxy, intervened to achieve peace and welcomed humanity. Among the main species humanity meets include the Asari, a race of peaceful monogendered beings, closely resembling blue-skinned human women, the Salarians, an amphibious species with considerable technological and intellectual powers, and the Turians, a heavily militaristic race of raptor-like humanoids who fought humanity in the First Contact War. The center of the Council's governing power is the Citadel, another artifact and a massive space station that, like the mass relays, were made by a race known as Protheans, believed to be the progenitor race for all species, but long since disappeared. Shepard and Kaidan are sent to the human colony of Eden Prime to recover and unearth the Prothean beacon. They repelled an attack by the Geth, rescuing Ashley in the process. Rogue Turian Spectre, Saren Arterius, activates the beacon before escaping. Shepard reaches the beacon and receives a vision showing the scenes of war and death. The SSV Normandy and its crew are summoned by Ambassador Donnell Udina to the Citadel station, but Shepard is unable to convince the Citadel Council of Saren's treason without solid evidence. Shepard meets Garrus and Rex and rescues Tali, who possesses a recording of conversation between Saren and Asari matriarch Benazir. The two discuss their victory while also mentioning an artifact called Conduit and the return of the Reapers, a highly advanced machine race of synthetic organic starships believed to eradicate all organic civilization every 50,000 years. The Council revokes Saren's Spectre status and makes Shepard the first human Spectre. Shepard is also handed command of Normandy by Anderson, and begins to follow several leads provided by him and Udina. On the world of Theron, Shepard rescues Benazir's daughter, Liara, who joins Shepard's squad because of her biotic abilities and expertise of Protheans. On the colony of Pharaohs, Shepard fights off Saren forces and learns that his flagship, Sovereign, possesses unique mind control capabilities. On the world of Novaria, Shepard tracks down and defeats Benazir, who reveals that she and Saren are being indoctrinated by Sovereign. Meanwhile, the Council informs Shepard that the Salarian infiltration unit has uncovered Saren's main base on Vermile. Upon arrival, Shepard learns that Saren has discovered a cure for the Krogan genetic disease, the genophage, and plans to breed an army of unstoppable Krogan warriors. Rex clashes with Shepard over whether to destroy it, but Shepard convinced him. After this conflict, Shepard assists the Salarians in destroying the base by planting a bomb in it. Inside, Shepard is confronted by Sovereign, who reveals itself to be an actual Reaper. Sovereign reveals that Reaper remain outside the Milky Way, waiting for organic life to develop and discover mass relays, before harvesting them when they reach the peak of advancement. Shep finds Saren, who claims that his allegiance to Sovereign will save organic life forms by demonstrating their usefulness to the Reapers. Liara is then able to pinpoint Conduit location back on Normandy, a Prothean world known as Elos. There, Shepard learned that Citadel Station is actually a huge mass relay that Reapers used to invade galaxy. During the last extinction cycle, a few Protheans survived on Elos via cryopreservation, and then re-entered the Citadel Station via the Conduit, a reverse-engineered miniature mass relay disguised aboard the station as a statue. The Protheans sabotage Citadel to prevent the Reapers from remotely activating Citadel's mass relay, which Saren plans to undo to allow Sovereign to trigger the Reaper invasion. After fighting through heavy Geth forces at Conduit, Shepard confronts Saren at the Citadel and kills him. The Destiny Ascension, the Citadel's flagship with the Council on board, then request assistance. Shepard must risk heavy human casualties to save them. Sovereign then reanimates Saren's corpse to attack Shepard, while simultaneous fighting of the Alliance. Eventually, Severin's corpse is destroyed, and the Sovereign is dispatched by Normandy. For prevailing, humanity is invited to join the council. Shepard nominates Anderson to this new leadership position before leaving the proceedings, vowing to end the Reaper threat. In 2183, shortly after the events at the Citadel, the SSV Normandy, while patrolling for gas resistance, is attacked by an unknown vessel, forcing the crew to abandon ship. Shepard pushes Joker into the final escape pod before being blasted into space. After the suit breach, Shepard dies via asphyxiation as his body is put into the orbit of a nearby planet. The body is recovered by Cerberus, who begins the Lazarus Project with the sole purpose of bringing Shepard back to life. 2 years later, Shepard is revived on an operating table and escapes the research station under attack by his own security max alongside Jacob Taylor and Miranda Lawson. Shepard is brought to meet the elusive men, who reveals that the entire population of human colonies have been disappearing all over the galaxy. Now working for Cerberus, Shepard is sent to investigate a recently attacked colony, where he finds clues suggesting that Reapers are working by proxy through an insectoid alien race called Collectors. The elusive men explain that Collectors reside beyond Omega-4 Relay, a place from which no ship has ever returned, and tasks Shepard with assembling a team to stop them. Shepard is also given command of a new starship, the Normandy SR-2, piloted once again by Joker and equipped with an onboard AI named ED. Shepard recruits Morden, former squad member Garrus, Jack, and Grant, before the elusive man informs him that another human colony is under attack. With the help of Morden's studies on collector biology, Shepard defends the colony, but is unable to stop a large portion of the population from being captured. Shepard then recruits former squad member Tali, Thayan, and Samara, before being sent to explore a supposedly disabled collector ship. There, Shepard learned that collectors were originally Protheans that were turned into slaves of Reapers. With Edie's help, Shepard also finds out how to bypass Omega-4 Relay before being ambushed by the collectors. Although Shepard's squad escapes, his relationship with elusive men is strained due to his prior knowledge of the trap. Shepard visits a derelict Reaper ship and acquires an IFF necessary to safely travel through the Omega-4 Relay. Shepard also acquires disabled Geth that, after being activated, joins the squad as Legion. While Shepard and the squad live in Shuttle, the Normandy SR-2 integrates IFF into her systems. During the absence, the Collectors board Normandy SR-2. Only Joker avoids capture, and with Edie's help, extracts Normandy SR-2 to safety. When Shepard's squad returns, the team uses the Omega-4 Relay to reach the Collector base, located in the Galactic Center. The team rescues any surviving crew members and finds their way to the central chamber, but some of them inevitably sacrifice during the process. In the central chamber, Shepard discovers that the Collectors have been constructing a new human Reaper made from genetic material of the abducted colonists. Shepard destroys the machine powering it and prepares to destroy the Collector base. However, the elusive man proposes sterilizing the base instead with a timed radiation pulse so that it can be used against the Reapers. After deciding the fate of the base, Shepard destroys the awakened human Reaper and escapes with the surviving squad members. At the meantime, the Reapers awaken in dark space and descend upon the galaxy. The Reapers invade and quickly overwhelm Earth. After being reinstated by Anderson, who stays behind to rally resistance, Shepard is ordered to Mars. On Mars, Shepard learns of a Prothean superweapon capable of destroying the Reapers, and recovers its schematics from elusive men, who reveals Cerberus' desire to control the Reapers instead. With schematics in hand, the Alliance begins construction on the device, dubbed the Crucible, while Shepard is ordered to recruit support from other species across the galaxy. Shepard begins by rescuing the Turan Primarch from Manai, a moon orbiting the Turan homeworld, Palaven. The Primarch pledges Turan support to Shepard if the Krogan help defend Palaven. The Krogan leader, Rex, refuses to help unless the genophage is cured. Shepard and Rex travel to the Solarian homeworld, Sukash, where they rendezvous with a Solarian scientist, Wix. After modern formula is secured from Eve, a fertile Krogan female, He hatches a plan to disperse it using a tower called Shroud on the Krogan homeworld Tuchanka. Before landing on Tuchanka, Shepard is contacted by the leader of Salarian government. She reveals that Shroud has been sabotaged to prevent the dispersal of a cure, and offers her government support if the sabotage is left intact. However, Shepard decides to allow the cure to proceed. Mordin sacrifices himself to deploy a countermeasure. Following the events on Tuchanka and a failed coup by Cerberus to take over the Citadel, the Quarians offer their support to the Alliance if Shepard helps them reclaim their homeworld, Rannoch, from the Geth. Assisted by Harley, Shepard boards a Geth dreadnought and rescues a captive Geth unit, Legion, then disables the Reaper control signal over the Geth. Shepard then locates and destroys the Reaper base on Rannoch, which gives the Quarians an opportunity to attack the vulnerable Geth. However, Legion reveals that it intends to sacrifice itself in order to upgrade Geth using Reaper technology, which will enable the Geth to achieve true sentience and free will, making them capable of defeating the Quarians. Shepard lets Legion do this, which inevitably annihilates Quarians, but gains full support from Geth. Shepard is subsequently summoned to the Citadel by the Asari Consular. She reveals that there is a hidden Prothean artifact on Asari homeworld, Thesia, which may help Shepard identify the catalyst, an essential component for completing the Crucible. There, Shepard discovers a Prothean VI called Vendetta, but Kylan arrives and steals it as Thesia falls to the Reaper. Desperate to reclaim Vendetta, Shepard follows Lan to the Sanctuary facility on the human colony world Horizon, where Cerberus has been secretly researching Reaper-controlled technology. Shepard obtains a tracking device that leads to the Elusive Man's headquarters, and initiates an all-out assault on the Cerberus base station with the Alliance. Accompanied by ED, Shepard reaches the central base, kills Lan, and learns from Vendetta that the catalyst is Citadel itself, which the Reapers have captured after successfully indoctrinating the Elusive Man, who abandoned the station prior to the assault. The Alliance and its allies launch an all-out assault on the Reapers in a last-ditch effort to retake Earth and activate Crucible by joining it with Citadel. After a long and grueling battle in London, Shepard reaches a Reaper transportation beam to enter the Citadel despite being gravely wounded by Harbinger, the leader of Reapers. On the Citadel, Shepard meets with Anderson at a control panel, who is taken hostage and shot by the Elusive Man. The Elusive Man is killed by Shepard, and Anderson is also killed in the process. Shepard attempts to fire off the Crucible, only to instead be lifted to the pinnacle of the Citadel, where a childlike artificial intelligence appears that declares itself to be the catalyst and the creator of Reapers. After considering the options proposed by the creator, Shepard destroys the Reapers and all other synthetic life and technologies, making his crew members, human, and all other organic life species in Milky Way survive.